Let's make some blocks of fishes for the Block of the Month challenge that we are doing with our Dutch Modern Quilt Guild. Hi there, my name is Irene and today we are making foundation paper pieced fish blocks. And we are doing that for, well, I am doing that for the Block of the Month challenge that we are doing with our Dutch Modern Quilt Guild. And this year we have the Block of the Month challenge that we have a shape each month and we get to do with that whatever we want. So last year we had the color of the month, and this year we have the shape of the month. So welcome to a new video on my channel. Let's make some blocks. Well, first I'm going to tell you a little bit about the project and show you some fishes that I've done already. That are these. And then I'm going to share how I designed them and make them. And talk a little bit more about foundation paper piecing. Every month the Dutch Modern Quilt Guild will set out a shape and you get to make with that whatever you like. And I decided to make fish. Well, I don't know why. Is it easy? Maybe not. But the first month, it was fun. It was a circle, so I drew a circle and just made a fish out of it. Actually made two already. And then I thought, let's just see what shapes there will be this year, and let's see if I can make a fish out of every shape. So that's what I'm doing, and it's now already June, and I don't have designed 6 fish yet, so I'm running a little bit behind. But in this video I'm going to play catch up a little bit. So let's see, January we had a round shape, then in February it was a heart, so that is this fish that you see over here. Oops, upside down. So I decided to make the little lips of the fish into, well, they are designed from a heart, and these fins, actually if you put them together, that's a heart shape. And then of course there's one in between the two fishes as well. So I think this counts as using the heart shape with my fish. And then March is a square, already designed that one as well. Then April is a diamond, already made that, so you'll see that in this video. And then May is an oval, so probably be easy like the round fish. And then June is a plus. That's going to be interesting. I haven't designed that one yet. But let me show you here a little screen of my iPad. So this is how I start with a shape. I just draw the shape and then start sketching with how I can turn that shape into a fish. So I did that for the round and for the square, for the diamond, and also for the heart. So yeah, I think it's super fun to doodle like this and turn it into foundation paper piecing pattern. So after I'm done doodling on my iPad, I take those images to my computer and use Electric Quilt 7 or 8, which is I think 8 already, EQ8, and then start designing the foundation paper piecing pattern, or actually tracing, because the design I already did on the iPad. And I start tracing the pattern. And the reason why I do that is to make the block more symmetrical and more like the lines straight. And it's just easy for me to have it in my Electric Quilt program, because then I can scale it really easily. Then I can pick out the sections and place in the numbers. Like this one I just drew by pen, but when I have it in EQ7 I can just print it. So what I like to do quite symmetrical wise, foundation paper piecing patterns often have a lot of triangles, and as you can see, what I do then on the computer is make like this triangle and this triangle the same size, so that the blocks just look really neat. Yeah, so that is why I take it to my computer. So what does that look like? Well, that looks like this. So I import an image from the iPad, and then I scale it up a little bit and put it in a square on the design software, and then I start tracing it. So I start tracing it and seeing if I can figure out if the sections are correct and where are the lines, where all the lines should go. Yeah, and then when you keep drawing, you will eventually end up with a pattern or 2 or 3 or 4. So here you see all the fish. I'm just going to ask my editor to put them here. Here you see the fish that I designed so far. So we have the circle and we have the heart and the square and the diamond fish. Yeah, so I think it's going to be a very fun project to make all these fishes. Let's start sewing. But before we do, I wanted to tell you about my foundation paper piecing course. So if you are new here, maybe you'll stumbled upon this video because you wanted to see how the fishes were made. If you're new to this technique, which is called foundation paper piecing, FPP, I made a course about it. So that is for beginners, but the course is also for people who already know how to do foundation paper piecing, but want to improve their skills and want to be a more confident foundation paper piecer. So if that is something that you will be interested in, please hop over to the thing that I put in the corner of the screen. I hope I'm pointing in the right direction. So you can follow the link and find the foundation paper piecing course. And there I tell you all my tricks and tips and tricks and techniques, everything I know about foundation paper piecing. And I think it's quite a lot because this is my all-time favorite quilting technique. I love designing foundation paper piecing blocks, and I love making them, sewing them, and teaching about it. So make sure to check that out. Now let's pick out some fabrics and sew some blocks. Here are the fabrics that I'm working with for this project. So here we have some neutrals that I'm going to use for the backgrounds. And I have a bunch of 2.5 inch strips from Speckled. And I have these fabrics. And these fabrics I once picked out, well, I think most of them, maybe I've added a few, I've picked out at a quilt fair in Germany. Not my typical colors, but it was really fun to just scroll through all the fabrics there at one of the booths and pick some fabrics together. So that resulted in this bunch. I really like it, even though it's not my typical bright rainbow, but I love how these colors go together. And well, this one was perfect for my fish themed project. So these are the main colors, and I'm going to add in accents of the Speckled. Here are also 2 fabrics that I could use as the background fabrics. So there we go. From this I am going to mix and match and pick the fabrics for my fishes. Here are 2 fishes that I have already made. So this was for the first month, January, where the shape was circles. Yeah, so those ones I already did. So now I am making the fishes with the heart and the squared fish and the diamond shaped fish. So let's put fabrics together for the heart-shaped fish. And I'm making 2 of those fish because they are making a little heart in the center there. That is going to be red. And I'm going to use these for the 2 main fabrics. Let's see what background we do. This one here. And I'm thinking this one here. So for the fish I would need a color for the lips, the fins and the back tail of the fish. So I'm going to use these pinks. I already thought about this a little bit, so it's not that my fabric picking always goes as fast as this, but I wanted to do 2 pinks on either one of them. So probably, I don't know, maybe this one here, this one there, something like that. Or we could change this up. Yeah, maybe that's better. And then fabric for the tail. Let's do a little bit of a color pop. A color pop from this. Maybe this one. Could be a tail. Blue. Let's go with yellow. Okay, so there we have 2 fishes for February. And then we also get to do like the square fish, and the square fish was for March. I want to use this one. And the square fish has 2 colors in the body. Like this one. Let's go with that one. 2 colors in the body, and then all the fins I do in 1 color, and then we need also a detail color for the lips. Let's see. This one could be there. Let's put a color in between here as well. And then we need something for the tail. This is a little bit too much, I think. That could work. Okay, so that's going to be the fin and the tail. Yeah, so there we have another fish. Next up is the diamond shaped fish. The diamond shaped fish. Maybe I can use this one. And then what else does it have? It has a nose and it has tail. These 2 could work. There we go. And we have another fish. Now let's sew something. So time to make a fish. So I selected this fabric and I will turn that into this fish. So here we have sections that are not squared up yet. This is a square fish. There we go. Does that look like a fish? Let's square those sections. And there we have the first catch of the day. A little square fish. I love how these are going to turn out. It's just silly fishes and shapes. And it's going to turn into kind of a mini quilt, I guess. Not sure what kind of project or item it's going to be when it's done. But a mini quilt sounds fun. Yeah, so let's make another one. And for that, we have the fabric. Here we have the fabric for the diamond fish. The diamond fish was for what month? Diamond is for April. Let's turn this into a fish. First, we sew some sections. Something like this, I think. Yep. And then we trim these sections. All sections nicely trimmed. Looks so good always when you trim things after piecing them together. It's just so nice and crisp that you can already see the shapes a little bit. There we go. That is going to be our diamond shaped fish. Looks a little bit odd I hoped I designed the pattern correctly. Let's check. Why is this looking odd? Oh, first I'm going to put this together. Then I'm going to put this together and sew these two together. And then I can add that onto there. Yep, okay, that's going to work. Let's put it together. The diamond fish. I really like how this turned out with two little fish inside. Maybe he eat that, but that's a little detail. Oh well, I think it turned out cute with the colors and the details there. So now we already have 4 of them. And the other ones I want to make today are the fish with the heart. So let's make another one in this quick tempo. And then I will show you behind the scenes of what actually goes into sewing a complete block like this. And so here we have fabrics for the heart fish number 1. And fabrics turn into sections. And there are quite a lot of sections in this block. So let's puzzle that together. There we have the first heart shape. And the fins, top and bottom, also make a little heart together. Maybe it's upside down, is it? That should be there. This should be here because this is half of the heart. So when I'm making 2 blocks, they should make a little heart together. And then we have the tail there. Okay, so let's square this up. That was quite a lot of cutting, but now we already got to have a better look at what this is going to look like. There we go. Here's another fin and the middle part. And the last one. I think I missed this. Did I miss it? No. No, it's correct. There's just a little piece of fabric missing on the top there, but that's okay. So that is going to be the first heart fish. Okay, I'm going to sew this together. It turned out so cute. Look at that. I can't wait to sew his body and then sew the blocks together so it will be a little heart in between there. Oh, also the tail. I really like how these points worked out. And here as well, I didn't really notice until I was sewing how many matching points there were in the pattern. But that turned out quite alright. So now I get to sew the last fish for now, because I will be sewing fishes for the rest of the year, every month a new fish. But let's make a body for this one. I already selected the fabrics that I showed you, and then the next step would be to cut the fabrics. And in my course Foundation Paper Piecing, you will learn the method that I use for cutting my pieces, and I like to pre-cut everything. So as you see here, this is the pattern piece that I'm going to use, and then let's see if everything is in focus. I think so. And then here are all the fabrics, and these fabrics are already cut to shape, so I don't cut any rectangles or squares, so I don't have too much excess fabric to throw away. So these are already the shapes of these pieces. What was the order? This one first. I think something like this. So yeah, this is what I'm going to take to the sewing machine. Here's my setup. So we have a sewing machine and the fabrics I just showed you. Then I have a seam roller, my new favorite knife from Famore, and this one, it's a special one. So it has a wheel bearing in here. So as you see, it runs so smoothly. Really love it. And I have my add a quarter ruler and also add an eighth ruler because some of these pieces are pretty tiny. And an iron ready to go. So let's sew some pieces. So during my course foundation paper piecing, I teach you all the steps that are needed for foundation paper piecing. So from printing your pattern, preparing your pattern, what types of paper you can use to print your pattern. I now just used the test print that I printed my block on. But there are also different options for paper, for foundation paper piecing. I discuss how to cut your fabrics and also all the steps in detail that I'm going to go through now. So with foundation paper piecing, just the basics. If you've never done this before, you see the numbers on there. And it's kind of a paint by number. So you place your fabrics on there and sew on the other side. So you place your fabrics on the side that has no numbers and you sew on the other side. And the block that I'm making right now, the hard fish block, it has a lot of fabric pieces. So it can seem a little daunting. But the fun thing with foundation paper piecing is that you can start just with easy blocks, with simple blocks, and practice with that because the technique stays the same. So a block might become more intimidating because it has more pieces, but the technique doesn't get more difficult with bigger blocks or blocks with more pieces. So the technique stays the same. So you can just start practicing with simpler blocks. And once you get the hang of that, you can move over to more complicated blocks. So I use these rulers to cut a nice seam to my fabrics, to cut off excess fabric and puzzle all my pieces together. So let me show you. I will just sew one more piece and then I'll show you. There we go. And the seam roller really helps so that you don't have to, it's nice and bright in here, isn't it? I'm in the spotlight. So the seam roller you use so that you don't have to go to your iron after every fabric that you add. So what is happening here is that you have the pattern on one side and this is also the side that you sew on, and you will get the fabrics on the other side. Yeah, and this is adding piece by piece by piece. So all the fishes you just saw me show you on my cutting mat, that was it was pretty quick. It would be lovely if this would go that quick in real life, but this is the actually speed that I go on. So it's piece by piece by piece, and then after that you have only finished one section, and then you do the steps that you just saw me flip through. So after you sew all the sections, then you get to trim off all the excess fabric from the sections so they are nicely squared up. And after that you can assemble the blocks. So those are I think the slightly quicker steps, because sewing all the sections with especially all these tiny pieces, that's going to take a while. So this is the first section finished, and after I finish a section I go to my ironing board, give it a good press so that everything lies nice and flat, and move on to the next section and continue until all the sections are done. So just going to start a time lapse and sew all these sections. that's the final fish for now. So here we have the 2 February fishes, and I think when I sew them together this will look a little bit more, or a little bit better, like a heart. So let's do that, and then we're the big reveal. Ta-da! Doesn't that look cute? I think that worked out really well. So there we have all the fishes, the square fish and the diamond shaped one and the round fishes, of course, where I already have 2 of those. I initially planned to make just 12 blocks, but since I made 2 of these and also needed to make 2 for February, just have to figure out, maybe I should make 15 blocks to make it a nice, well, rectangle or square kind of mini quilt. Let's see how many we'll make. I think it's also a really fun, scrappy project, this one. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and do check out the foundation paper piecing course if you would love to learn more about foundation paper piecing or become a more confident foundation paper piecer. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye!